keep listing that death pile, because when all of this is over, you'll have the space and you can go make a new death pile. Hi guys, it's Misty and welcome back to my channel. This is my weekly What Sold on eBay for the week of April 6th through 12th. And with, normal eBay custom, my sales were up last week, my sales were down this week. That seems to be kind of the trend here that I am going through right now, but that's okay. I did sell 26 items. It was a steady week. My sales were, I think I had one day where I didn't really sell much of anything, but I didn't really list a whole lot last week either. I have been listing a lot so far this week, so hopefully that will make the trend for next week go up a little bit higher. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see what sold for me last week on eBay. Starting in the Sellers Hub, and here you can see my numbers, and here you can see each day of the week, and you can see Saturday was not that great of a day, but when you click on these little blocks here, it will tell you what your total sales, what your selling costs were, and what your net sales were. So this is a way that you can keep track easier of what your net sales are. So that is in your Sellers Hub. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the first thing. Now this first thing is something that was in an auction lot that we had, and I just thought maybe we'd try to put up, and it's this Mad Magazine Michael Jackson Bad Robo Slop EC Comics number 277. It's from 1998. Or 1988. It was in good condition. This actually, I took a best offer of $5 for this, and it was someone that bought something from me on my vintage sale, so I took their best offer and I just shipped it with the items that they bought from me from my live sale. Next item is a Boston Warehouse Holiday Folk Cheese Butter Spreaders. I picked these up from the bins. They were brand new in the box, and they sold for $6, and the buyer paid shipping. So this is just to show you that Christmas items still are selling right now. But this is something that I've had for several years, and I was happy that it finally sold. The next item were these Henri Italy Fernandez Easter and Sarah K Valentine carved wood eggs, 1978 and 1979. These were a series that Henri did. These sold for $12.99, and the buyer paid shipping. These were also something that I believe we bought in a flea market box. They were just kind of little random things that were in the box, and put these up, and they sold for $12.99 plus shipping. The next item is something that I picked up for 99 cents at Goodwill. It is a Dragonball Z wallpaper border peel and stick. It's 5x15, just one roll. It's from 2001. Dragonball Z, and if I can get these cheap enough, I do buy them. A lot of times people want them to finish off a room, or they want to do a craft with them. But it is a really neat Dragon Ball Z item, and it sold for $12.50, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item, we're still selling these Disney Infinity lots from the Disney Infinity game system. These are the little pods that you put on in the little portal, and it makes the character show up on the screen. We picked a lot of these up at yard sales, and this lot here, which was the Infinity Marvel Avengers with the Black Thor, Black Widow, and Crystal, right there is the Crystal, sold for $18.55, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is this little whimsical, there's my word that I like, whimsical, God bless this lousy apartment, heart-shaped hanging wall plate. This is probably the time that this probably would sell better, because people are kind of sick of sitting in their home. So God bless this lousy apartment. It finally sold. I had this for a little while. I just thought it was cute. I paid 99 cents for it. Sold it for $15, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item were these vintage Pikes Peaks Monarch Crest Colorado coffee mug set. I picked these up for 65 cents each at Goodwill. Had them for a little while. Finally sold them for $18.50, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is this vintage Looney Tunes Tweety Bird and Grandma mug. It was from 1999, Warner Brothers. Picked it up for 65 cents at Goodwill, and it sold for $8.25, and the buyer paid shipping. I'm very picky with mugs. I would not buy this mug again. A lot of mugs that I used to buy, I won't any longer buy, because the profit margin just isn't there for me. Even though I do pick these up for about 65 cents when I do buy them, or at 50 cents or a quarter at yard sales, but I'm just kind of being a little bit more picky with them when I see them. The next item is a pack of vintage golden nugget hotel and casino Las Vegas playing cards. These were casino cards that, when they have used them, they reseal them and then they sell them in their gift stores. This were in a big lot of cards that Dad had bought, and I've been slowly selling them piece by piece. This pack sold for $14.25 and the buyer paid shipping. Now, if you had one of these golden nugget cards and it was originally sealed, like it had never seen the casino floor, they sell for quite a bit more money. And Dad kind of thought this one was sealed, but it is sealed, but it's been opened and it's been used on the casino floor. So it's a resealed pack. The next item is a Westland Company Gold Guild metal piano music box, and it plays the song Feelings. Sold this for $14 and the buyer paid shipping. It's just a little, there's the music box, a little trinket box, music box. The next item is a Neff 1960s vintage wooden cutting board. It has this really cute little cafe scene, and it says Sunday enjoying. Mid-century modern is a good keyword to put in things. People do search that as a search item. This sold for $14.50 and the buyer paid shipping. All right, I did sell a couple shoes. These are Teva's women's wedge sandals. They have this cork on the sides here. Tan. They have never been worn. They're brand new. Size 9.5. Sold for $28.50. I did do free shipping on these. They did ship in a padded flat rate mailer, and I bought these for $4.50 at Goodwill. Okay, puzzles are something that if you have them, sell them, even if they're used. I sold 2 puzzles this week that we have put together that we've had, and then I just turned around and sold them. So, if you've put a puzzle together recently and you know that the pieces are there, go ahead and sell it on eBay. And you'll be surprised at how quickly that sells. I sold both of these within a couple days of me listing them. The first one is a Disney jigsaw puzzle. It's a 550 piece. Mickey Mouse. It's comic through the ages at the size 18 by 24. The nice thing about puzzles is all the information that you're going to want to put in your title is on the box. So just kind of be creative with some of the words that they have on the box. And you'll be surprised, you got your use out of it. Now you can turn around and at least get your money back, or at least some of your money back. Okay, the next item is this vintage big-eyed hound dog porcelain planter, mid-century modern, black and white. Just a cute little planter with this big-eyed dog on it. It was in great condition, and it sold for $16.50 and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is this vintage Pyrex Corning number 75 Crazy Daisy covered margarine butter dish with the lid. This sold for $16.99 and the buyer paid shipping. Next we have an antique Victorian era Asian tea tin with an oriental scene. It had a little garden oriental scene. It was a lithograph, Japanese. This was an antique tin, and it was in really good condition for the age of it. You can see it had some pitting in it. It was rusted out. These are a pretty good find. The color was still vibrant on this. You can see it has all of the really pretty squirrel work on it. The hard thing about this is I couldn't decipher what the brand was on this. So I just was kind of creative in the words that I used to hopefully get someone to search for it, and it sold for $39.50 and the buyer paid shipping. Another Disney Infinity lot. This one was Toy Story. I had sold this last week, and then the buyer decided to cancel it, and then I sold it again this week. Last week I sold it for a best offer. This week I sold it for full asking price. So sometimes, those things can kind of turn around for your benefit if that happens. This sold for $22.37 and the buyer paid shipping. Okay, this is a prime example of don't do what I did and don't take a picture of white things on a white background because it makes it very hard to see. These were Department 56 Snow Bunny Bisque clip-on light clips. I put Christmas, I put Easter. Sometimes people put them on their Christmas trees or they'll use them in their Easter decor. I paid 99 cents a piece for these. I had tons of them, and these were the last two that I had left. These sold for $28.50, and the buyer paid shipping. So when you see these, they are made by Department 56. I've sold them in the packaging and without the packaging, but now that I know what they are, I do, you know, when I see them, I pick them up because they do sell. These are pretty collectible. They make them in cherubs, they make them in bunnies, they make them in all different kinds of designs. So they have that rough texture that I don't like, but these are pretty collectible. So when you see these little clip guys, make sure to check them out if you can get them cheap enough. Okay, the next item is an MSA first aid kit. It's a metal box. It was from a mining equipment machine. So it just had really neat colors on it. It was teal and just had this neat rusty, crusty look to it. You could mount it on the wall, so people could use it for various different things. They could use it in their home decor. Maybe somebody worked for this company and they just want it as a, you know, a souvenir of the time that they spent with that company. So a lot of different ways that you can market this. And it sold for $21.50, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item are these Bostonian Florentine Kiltie men's Italian dress shoe loafers with tassels. They're a size 11. They were in excellent condition, probably owned just or worn just a handful of times. Sold them for $28, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item is a vintage American flag chrome metal bicycle bell. It's a handlebar mount, and it was pretty pitted here, you can see. And by pitting, I mean these little spots and dings in the chrome. It's just a bicycle mount, a bell. It still worked. It had the American flag on it. Bicycle memorabilia does sell pretty well for me, so we do try to buy it when we can. This sold for $29.95, and the buyer paid shipping. This next item, now I picked this up at Goodwill, I think for like $1.99. I didn't really quite know what it was, but it was new in the box, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And I knew it was vintage. And it's a vintage sofa slug, the wind-breaking house guest. So it's a draft dodger, and you hang it from your wall. Let me see if I can show you that. Yeah, you hang it from your wall, and he dodges the drafts. And you can also set him down on your floor, as you can see in this picture right here, and he'll prevent the drafts from coming in the crack of the bottom of your door. And he was a slobby guy. He had holes in his socks, and he did have some stains. Now, we couldn't tell if the stains that were on him were supposed to be there, or if they, were just, stained from being old. And I did put that in the listing. Does not appear to have ever been used. The plastic is still attached to the head. There does appear to be a few spot stains on the fabric, but could be intentional as part of the slob look. He did come with his pizza and remote that he holds in his hand. So, someone bought this for $30, which is amazing to me, but sold him for $30, and the buyer paid shipping. The next item are these, and I'm going to say this wrong like I always do, pilquinos, I don't know, women's sandals, size 40. They were brown leather slingback with a stacked heel. I picked these up at Goodwill for $4.50. I've never heard of this brand before. They were made in Spain. I could tell that they were very handcrafted. They were very well made. So that's usually, an indicator to me that it's worth picking up for the price that I can get it for. And they sold for $32.50, and the buyer paid shipping. They were really pretty and in excellent condition. Okay, here is another puzzle that we have put together. Actually, my daughter has put together these puzzles this week. And as soon as she got it finished, I just went ahead and listed it. And this one is White Mountain Jigsaw Puzzle, Vintage Signs. It's a 1,000 piece. I love White Mountain puzzles. That's just the ones that we prefer to put together. And I know that there's other people out there that specifically do certain brands of puzzles. But this one sold for $26.50, and the buyer paid shipping. And I want to say that I paid like $17 or $18 for this originally. The next item is this vintage mid-century Four Seasons by Metalcraft art framed lot of 4. I picked these up for, I believe I paid $1.99 each for these at Goodwill. I liked that I have the complete set of them. They sold for $45.50, and the buyer paid shipping. And the last item was the best thing that I sold this week, and it is this authentic vintage Verner's Ginger Ale tin chalkboard soda pop sign menu display. This was an original piece. It was a chalkboard display that would have been in a soda shop or a little five and dime. It sold, I actually took a best offer of, I believe, $175, and the buyer did pay shipping on this. It was in really good condition, and this Verner's Ginger Ale is a lot harder to find than the Coca-Cola ones. They just weren't made as much as the Coca-Cola ones were, and this one was in really excellent condition. There's the back of it there, and it was original, because they do make a lot of copies of these, so you kind of have to do your research and know if what you have is authentic or if it is a reproduction. And like I said, this one I took a best offer of $175, and the buyer paid shipping. Okay, so as you can see, I explained a little bit that I sold a lot of things that I have had for a very long time. Again, the profits or the sales price wasn't that high on a lot of things, but it's things like that I've had for a while that I'm ready to just move on. My average sale price was up a little bit this week, which is kind of, it's a good thing. My sales were down, but my average selling price was up. So that's always, a little bit of good news, and my sales being down. But, things that are selling, I get that question a lot, at people asking me, well, what things are selling right now? What things should I list for my death pile first? And honestly, the thing that I would probably focus on first would be games, puzzles, toys, things that the kids can do or things that families can do together, video games, those kinds of things, since people are, stuck in their houses, are things that it seems like when I list them, I do sell them a lot quicker than normal. And, electronics and those sorts of things. So kind of cherry pick those things out of your death pile. But the main goal is just to get things out of your death pile and just list. So just list. But I would probably pull those things out first if you are looking for some steady cash flow like right now. Last week, I did a 20% off sale. This week I'm trying a couple different things. I think I'm doing a 15% off sale. I do put best offer on all of my listings, and I never ever reject or decline an offer. If someone sends you an offer and it's a little bit insulting, which, that happens, then counter offer with your asking price. Counter offer with your asking price, or, maybe $1 cheaper. So never decline an offer. There is something that it does something to the eBay algorithm when you decline an offer. So just send a counter offer. Think about running a sale. Think about listing things at best offer. Price them a little bit higher than you normally would, so you can leave a little bit of room for negotiation. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about my numbers. For the week, my gross sales, now gross means things before your cost of goods and your fees and your taxes and all that kind of stuff, were $839.46. My sales were down 23.6%, and I sold 26 items. But I like to shoot for about a $20 average selling price, and this week my average selling price was $32. So my selling price, average selling price per good, was up, and I'm okay with that. So what I did is, and I told you a little bit in the beginning how you can figure out your net sales, which your net sales is, what you've made after your eBay fees. Still doesn't, take in account for your cost of goods. All right, so, you just got to keep listing, and hopefully things will start to improve a little bit. But if your sales are slow, don't let that discourage you. Just stay positive and keep listing that death pile, because when all of this is over, you'll have the space and you can go make a new death pile, right? All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed and hit the little bell notification so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. I do have live vintage sales every Wednesday at 1 Eastern Standard Time here on my channel. So if you're looking for things to source, you can come to me and I can show you some things that you can resell for a profit. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say